last few days? What have you made it all and sort of fall out from Friday night?
Look, obviously, I accepted the breach myself and the club the other day, so I understand that. The stuff that I've said in the game, I stand by, what I said in that game post-match and my views on that. But I also understand that the NRL has to act on some things that I said, and that's the balance of our game. I'm going to give my opinion on that. And then the main thing for us was, we're in the middle of a competition. We're in round 25 and we play tomorrow night. So we've had to get back to training and get really clear, suffer the consequences, but then keep moving forward.
Is it hard to move on from that in some ways? Like, obviously there's a lot of drama around it all, but you've also lost one of your best players and a guy who's, I would suggest, has been your best player for the past 2 months, to be honest.
It is. It takes longer than a normal game, but that's a part of our game, is to handle what happens and then move forward, because you can't stop and wallow in what's happened. So you need to keep moving forward. And, Joey, he's back with us now, and he's around the guys, just sort of observing training. But he's not playing Thursday, and we've got an opportunity tomorrow to go again in the Roosters colours. So that naturally is, no matter how you feel, you've got to go forward. You have to get over it and get heading towards playing the next game.
Well, can I ask, I know you want to move on from it, but do you feel at all personally slighted that some of the fallout has come back on you and come back on your staff as the Roosters, and I guess the guys are on the sideline in any number of ways, from press conference to the immediate aftermath on the sidelines after the game and whatnot? Do you feel a bit slighted in that fact?
No, I don't think so. I think, we note that we need to be better in that area. We felt there was an injustice and we reacted towards that, but I understand that we need to be better as well. So I don't feel slighted. The opinions are always going to be mixed. So there was a lot of things that I was really proud of the other night in the way that we handled things. And there's also some lessons there. So just, it's happened, but let's go. Let's keep moving forward. And I don't, that's naturally that people want to swing it in a way, but no one wins in these situations.
Trent, one of the things that went unnoticed last round was the debut of Moala Graham-Taufa. He seems to be a player of great potential and a bright future with his twin brother. What does he bring to the table on and off the field? Yeah,
Mo came across with his twin brother, Lani. It was obviously 18th man and then debuted, which was great for him. I wanted to get him onto the field. I wanted to get that taste and get as many guys a taste of NRL as possible. And, he's in our squad again next year, and we really want to keep pushing him to improve. And that's why up here he's become twice the player he has in this environment, and hanging around guys like Daniel Tupou, who's spent a lot of time with him.
And you move from one set of twins to the other. Josh Morris announced his retirement this week. He's been a really good player in terms of rugby league. Like, he's given great service to the game. What have you learned about him at his time at the Roosters?
I like the segue, Dre, there. He'll be remembered as a prototype centre. The way that he's played that centre role and dominated that centre role both in attack and defence over such a long period of time. How is he attacked and the way that he's brought a physicality, but then also how has he played that defensive role? He's been so hard to attack against for such a long period of time. And he's done it until he's 35, and he should be congratulated. It was such a class act to see him talk the other day as well on his retirement. It was, it was really, really impressive to see a man stand there and just deliver what he needed to say from the heart, and then say, I'm ready to finish, but I've got a few more runs in me yet.
Robbo, just on Josh, as an opposition coach there, would you say you worked out a way to attack him defensively, or was he a tough nut to crack?
No, I had to buy him. That was that was the best way to attack him, was to have him on your team. He's always locked down an edge. I remember for so long it was it was difficult to work out how to pull him apart, and because he's not like I've got one system. He's got a couple of different systems he works, depending on the opposition, depending on the individual, depending on the shape, and that's that experience, and that's why I say he's like a prototype centre.
Yeah, and mate, sorry to swing back to last week, but in terms of all the emotion and the situation that arose there on the sideline, have you guys talked as a group about, it sounds when you mentioned lessons learned, how do you handle those situations better?
Yeah, it's pretty simply, no matter whether we think, my thing after the game was about how the way things, it wasn't just about the game, and it wasn't about South, it was about the system this year, and that came out, and we need to get back to a working point where it's it's really clear about our roles and what we need to do to execute that for our players every single week. And obviously where players are sitting and all of that has different issues as well, but we understand who we are, and we'll get better at that.
Was that the first time you've been down on the sideline this year?
No, I've been down a couple of times, 3 times.
Yeah. Will you keep going back down?
Depending on game scenario, depending on the age of the team and what's needed. I've done it overseas as well. I've done it with under 20s.
Yeah.
Michelle, can you just elaborate on that a little bit?
Do you mean why go down?
Yeah, obviously you said depending on, ages and all that sort of stuff, but that's interesting.
Yeah, I just, obviously from the box as a strategic coaching, you give tactical and strategic information down to the sideline. When you've got a really young bench and guys that can come on and off that are playing 0, 1, 2 games, then there's a discussion and direct discussion that can help with that.
Trent, it's Emma Lawrence.
Hey, Emma.
You mentioned Joey's back with the group. How is he physically in the recovery and I guess mentally as well? Yeah,
he's recovering from surgery, so he's still quite swollen, but he's in good spirits. He's back around, sort of playing his music and just supporting the guys. He's still obviously a little bit sore. I think it's only been 3-4 days, but he's good. The face recovers quickly. Surgery's done with, and he's ready to get just get recovered.
I think every week you always get asked about injuries, but for once you're finally getting troops back. It must be nice to have some pretty handy ones coming back. Yeah, to get
Jared back, Angus back, to get the back rowers back in, and Josh and Adam Kieran allows those edges to form some consistent shape there, and Matic Avalu coming back in on the wing. It's been, it just gets the balance right, and now we need to drive home those combinations on tomorrow night.
Robbo, Trent, there's been some colourful games between the Roosters and Raiders the last few years. I think something that a lot of people in rugby league might not have expected, but what have you liked most about the matches between the two clubs?
There's a love of the game between the two clubs. They absolutely love to play rugby league, and it's a tussle. They like to play a physical game, and they love the contest. All players enjoy the contest, and there's been some big battles, and there's no love lost there, but there's a pure love for the game that builds respect between the two. Where are we at, Dre? There, where's where are we? Where are you seated at the moment?
I'm up in. I think it is Mackay that I'm seated in at the moment. I've been changing it depending on where we're playing each week.
Have you? I don't know if that's Mackay. Is it?
It might be Toowoomba.
Toowoomba. It is Toowoomba.
Nice weather though.
Robbo, it's Trent from 10. Sorry.
Hey, Trent.
Go back and harp on this again. But is it hard to accept a personal fine, or from a personal point of view, when the NRL come out and basically agree that the Bunkers got it wrong?
Look, the funny thing is you, like, as I said, I fully understand where the fine comes from. I know there's some language that you can't use, but I would sit in there and deliver the same post-match press conference that I delivered, and that doesn't mean a disrespect to the NRL. You know, I understand their position, but they've got to also understand my position, and I stand behind that.
And just one on Joey as well. In speaking to him, do you have any idea if he has spoken to Latrell at all, or what that relationship may be like moving forward?
No, I don't know, and they'll be fine. You know, what happens on the field, I know Joey and Latrell, and of course it'll be mended. You know, I think the way that people have reacted towards Latrell has been way too much as well. You know, Joey got injured, and it wasn't an incident that we wanted, but they'll mend their fences, and so should everyone else. Let's move on.
Mate, on the field, again, you put in Sammy Walker in the 14 position. Can take us through that again. I know you did it a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
Same sort of reasons, just to give him a rest, is it?
Yeah, it's just to vary up the way that I use him. You know, he's. I really like the way that Lachie Lamb. It's also paying respect to Lachie and the job that he's been doing for us. So I think that's really important. But then also, you know, Sammy's valuable to us when he's on the field. So getting him on at the right time is important to me as well. So it's just managing those halves and the way that we play there. Well adapted, Dre. Nice. We're in Mackay.
Hey Trent, I'm Ted up in Mackay. How you going?
Ted, how are you?
Good, mate. You're doing the regional road trip, Mackay, Toowoomba, and you're coming back up here again.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't wait. You know, I mean, you obviously know the region. This will be our third game in a few years. Obviously, second game this year up there, and there must be a reason that they're sending us back to these regions, because, you know, their love of footy. We loved playing up there last time, and let's hope it continues. That, you know, we're playing in Queensland and Queensland hosting us, and, you know, we understand that that's, you know, Gold Coast and Brisbane and North Queensland, but there's a lot of areas in between that love and deserve their rugby league, and it's great that we can support that. You know, the NRL's obviously supporting that by sending us there, and we're more than happy to head up there.
There's been a bit of talk about Mackay and some of the other regional places maybe even getting a finals game. Do you think that Mackay could handle that?
Without a doubt. You know, without a doubt. I think you could see, you know, I think we had more at Toowoomba. If I'm correct, I think we had more at Toowoomba for our Sunday game against St George than we had at Suncorp for our South game, if I'm right. So, you know, there's the advertisement right there, you know, and that was at capacity. And if you get some grounds where you can get some people to maximise, obviously, the people that can arrive at the ground and get to the ground in the regional areas, then get us there, because they'll turn up.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks. See ya.
I'm not sure if your casualty ward would have allowed you to do this. Were you at all tempted to rest players this weekend? And secondly, we've seen a lot of clubs do that. I mean, is there a spot in the games maybe have a pre-finals bye to try and solve the fact that we have a lot of guys out this weekend?
Yeah, I actually only just thought about that today. It's not the case for us. You know, we've had a rolling rotation of rests for all different reasons. So, it's been different in different years. But it creates some interest, I think, in the last round, and who's going to play. It creates opportunity for some of those players that might be player 18, 19, 20 going into the final series. So that's the benefit of it. But if people want the best team every week, then the week off after the last round is also a possibility. That obviously shook up the competition down south, where it allowed sort of 5 to 8 to have a greater chance of winning the competition as well.
Is that a good thing? Like, do we want that because it creates unpredictability, or should we be rewarding teams that have done well, earn the right to rest, and then have a better shot at winning the title in the final?
Yeah, I don't know is the answer. I think, it's been a big week. Let me focus on tomorrow night, and I'll,
I'll annoy you with that one next August or September.
Yeah, November or December, Scott.